Hello, I have Ying from Thailand here who will tell us about the coronavirus situation there.
Well, yes. I saw everything from the very beginning. I'm from China, so I keep an eye on the coronavirus since like 2 months ago. Because my family is in Hubei province. That's why I keep an eye on this event for a very long time. And I got worried about them in the very beginning in the previous 2 months, and now they start to get worried about me now in Thailand. Generally speaking, well, we don't have so many. I mean, in Thailand, there are not so many cases like that in China or like in Europe and America now. But still, the government has done a lot of things to prevent the virus from spreading. We I think it's like 4 weeks ago. We start to when we enter the offices, we need to take temperature. We need to sanitize very often, and there are sanitizing stuff everywhere. The alcohol sanitizer everywhere, so we kind of feel safe. And much earlier before that, because of the bad climate in Thailand, when the virus is not that serious, I think it one 6 weeks ago, the virus was not that was not a problem, but the climate was really bad. The air pollution was bad, so people start to get mask on. So this it's totally fine to tell people to wear a mask because they already had the mask on. That's what I saw for the previous
So,
6 weeks.
so the people they were wearing the mask because of the pollution before.
Yes.
Mm.
They're not that much, but like I can say, in a very crowded places, like in a BTS, that's the subway of the BTS and the subway. I think 50% of them wear masks, so that's much higher than I had expected. Because at that time I thought, oh, people knew about this virus, but then I talk with my Thai friends and they say, maybe not. We wear that just because of the the bad pollution. I was thinking, oh, okay. Anyway, it helps. And then yes, and then when I realized the pollution gets a little bit better, it's not there when there are some days that they are not so bad pollution, and people start to take off the masks. But uh, because the masks at that time are in shortage in 7-Eleven, in all of the convenience shop, because the Chinese they some of them they bought it and sent it back to China for the antivirus war. So maybe people sense something. I mean, the local people. So I mean, from my observation, mask is not. It's not something that needs to be educated to the local people. They have they are very conscious in wearing the mask on, which makes me really happy because
Yeah.
I know how serious it is in China, and how important it is to put masks on in the early stage. Uh, but it's I also read the news overseas that in some countries it's hard to tell people, and even somewhere in some places it's hard to buy a mask, not because of the virus, but just because they are not that accustomed to wear masks. But
Yeah.
here it seems quite often in the very beginning. So I was not that worried in the beginning when I see people still very conscious doing that. Or maybe I should say I was not that uh, worried out of the office. But when I get into the office, I mean, when I get into the company, I got a bit worried because nobody's wearing masks in the offices.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I've got, Agoda. We have staff from more than 70 countries in the world. So at that time, people still traveling as before, taking holidays, and they came back. Even me, I myself, in February, in the early February, when it's serious in China, I had thought to cancel my travel plan, but there's no refund because I'm going to the Philippines. I'm not going back to China. So if I'm going back to China, maybe things can be canceled, and I got refunded. But I cannot, so I choose to go when it was not that serious in the Philippines. And when I came back, I was thinking maybe because I passed, I need to transfer in the airport, so maybe I'm risky. So I'm asking for like I was thinking if I should take like 2 weeks off, 2 weeks staying at home quarantine to prevent anything bad that could possibly happen. But then people around me tell me, well, it's quite okay. My boss is also quite okay. People just tell me everything's okay, saying that you're not from China, you're not traveling in China, you're from Philippines, so there's nothing wrong. So I attended the conference and attended the meetings every day. I take interviews and I work with people without any masks on. Well, to be honest, I feel a bit risky, but thank God nothing happened. Okay, um, and then I think the moment when I really start to get worried was like 3 weeks ago when there is a cluster cases like 11 people, and I read the news from the local media that among the 11 people, 11 cases, there is one is a suspected case. It has been confirmed. It has been diagnosed as a suspected case in the hospital in late February. So it was like, how could they do like that? They, if someone is diagnosed as a suspected case, he or she should be quarantined instead of like hang out with his friends and even in the pubs, and people start to share and to make me more surprised is the other 10 people, they share the beer with this guy when they know that this guy doesn't feel well. They know he's not feeling well, and they share the beer and share one cigarette. So I start to like, what are they doing? And they have no idea how serious it is. It's the early March. It's already very serious. And then 10 of them got infected. And that was shocking news, I think, for that week. And after that, the number starts to increase, because normally every day in Thailand they got like a one digit number, like 4 or 5 or 6 at most. But after that 11, it starts to get like 34 and like 50 or something. And then, and when I, because this case is a special case, because I was thinking if one suspected case is not quarantined, and at that time I think in Thailand they reported over 5,000 suspected cases. I don't know how they define it, but let's suppose all of them are like that guy, and they're hanging out around everywhere, and no social distancing with their friends. I can't imagine what that would be. And 1 week after that, we were told to work from home, and the number starts to grow in like 100, 120, 140, something like that. And so up to now there are 1,388 cases. And we since I started to work from home, so I don't see the outside world that often. I can see things from the balcony, because standing on my balcony I can see the highway, but there are fewer cars now. And for the condominium I'm living in, they closed, I mean the juristic office, they closed the swimming pool on the top floor, they closed the sauna room, they closed the gym. We are free to use that without the virus, but 2 weeks ago they start to implement some some sanitizing policies. So we are still allowed to go to the top floor, but not these facilities. The supermarket, well, I prepared everything like six weeks ago, so I don't go to the supermarket that often. I think last time I went to the supermarket was 2 weeks ago, and it was just fine. I mean, there are more people, and some of the like the rice and noodles are running out of storage, but people are still bringing some more. But in general, it's okay. It's totally fine in a supermarket. And now I can only read some of the tweets or what people post on the social media, my Chinese friends, because some of them they still go to the supermarket from time to time, and they told me it's crowded or people start to buy this and that. But we are not. I mean, from what I see, people in Thailand, we are not storing the toilet paper. This is something that is different from the other places. I mean, I didn't see them like taking a lot of toilet paper, and everywhere I see toilet paper is okay. We are not running of that. And from the pictures and the videos that my friends took at the supermarket, from what they told me, we are fine. The toilet paper is okay. And we closed the market, the open market, the pubs, and massage shops, and everything. This is this is understandable, but I also understand that this is very hard for the local government and for the local people, because Thailand rely much on the tourism and the service. Like the only thing that seems to be good is the delivery service, because now people are still allowed to purchase food and everything from online, but it's quite difficult to get to get because I didn't try the shopping online now, because I have enough thing. But from my friends' experience, they say if you start to book the groceries online, then usually it takes like 3 to 4 days to have them delivered. There's a long queue in every app, all of the apps.
Because a lot of people are doing it, I guess now.
Yeah.
And what about foreigners and tourists? Are they let in the country or not at the moment?
Thailand has closed the flight to 18 countries, which includes, I think, almost all of the severely hit European countries: China, Japan, Korea. I'm not sure, because this policy was declared like 2 weeks ago. So I'm not sure. 2 weeks. So yeah, 2 weeks ago. So I'm not sure. I'm not that sure if U.S. is included by them, and I'm not sure if they have added some more countries in. I had a boss, my previous boss, and he went back to the U.S. 4 days ago, I think. She was at the airport, and he told us that it was quite empty at the airport, because they found a lot of confirmed cases in the early stage. Most of the confirmed cases are from the airport. So but they take immediate action. So now the airport, I think the airport is safe now. We're not worried about that. Oh yes, and I think in Thailand they try to utilize the high technology. Like they also have kind of a website where you can check. It's a map, but then it shows like in this condominium, in that building, some people were discovered, and what are the symptoms, and when they were discovered, something like that. So far there's no confirmed case in my condominium according to the map, but in some of my Chinese friends condominium, they have confirmed cases, and I'm asking if the whole building was quarantined. Are they still free to travel, because now the government suggests people stay at home, but
Yeah.
still you are free to go shopping. To, of course, there's no shopping mall opening, but you can still go out to the supermarket to buy the groceries.
So the government only recommended people to stay at home, so there isn't any lockdown.
There are some. I heard there are some cities and some provinces around Bangkok. They are locked down, but not Bangkok yet. But they have the policy that they can take actions anytime. So this is the like very emergency state. So they say try not to go out, because you don't know, if you go out and things happening, you're not being able to get back. And if and there are rumors last week, they say that there would be curfew, but saying that you are only allowed to stay outdoors between 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. But then it turns out to be a rumor. But still, people are very self-disciplined to stay at home. This is what I see, because I see
That's
there are
very
very
good.
few people in the street and very fewer cars. I mean, especially Bangkok, it used to be a very crowded city. But I also see some read some news or read the pictures from the local media that there are some, because in Bangkok there are a lot of street food before. People buy
Yeah.
some street food. It's more convenient and it's cheap. And this for the street food owners, I still see some of the pictures that they are still waiting by the street and waiting for nobody, but they need to make a living, so they are still open their restaurants.
Mm-hmm. I see.
So now it's still, uh you can still eat in some of the restaurants, but I think maybe very few people dare to do so.
Yeah, because it's getting more and more risky, and it's likely to be closed down soon as well, I guess.
Yeah, because and also I think in Thailand the situation is, if things really gets into trouble, then they would put all of the resources to Bangkok for sure, because this is the where most of the population stays, and also there are a lot of foreigners, expats, many
Yeah.
country headquarters, and we still to we sometimes we are worried that, I mean I'm not worried, but some of us, we may feel worried, and people, some other foreigners, they would question, like especially in my industry, it's the travel industry. We were severely hit by this virus. So some of the companies has laid off, but we start to think about what if we are laid off, and how we gonna go home, because many of our countries are locked down. But usually if you resign the job in Thailand, then the visa could be a problem, because you are only
Yeah.
allowed to stay overseas, for stay in Thailand for 1 week more. So if for instance I've got an employee, and her last day was last Friday, but the last Friday morning she got the news that her flight back to China was canceled. And
What
according to
then?
Chinese, yeah, and according to Chinese policy, uh, each airlines is allowed to keep one flight 1 week. So I should say it's almost impossible for her to get home in a short time, because it's hard to get a flight ticket. So we
Mhm.
start to we start to negotiate with the people team, with the HR team, to see if it's possible to extend her stay here, not only because of the visa, but also because of the expenses, because she has to be here to continue
Yeah.
renting the condominium, to spend on food and everything. So So we are trying to do something for her given this special situation.
Yes, because it's difficult for her to deal with it on her own. It's not
Yeah,
easy.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So, yeah, that's pretty much of that.
Okay, thank you very much for telling me. Thank you so much.
That's all
So
right.
take care and
Take care. You too. Have a good
bye bye.
lunch. Bye.
Goodbye.